We will begin seated on our mats, our feet straight in front of us. Feet can be flexed, and then we will begin to lie forward for forward fold. You should feel the stretch in the back of your hamstrings, the back of your calves. You can place your hands on your mat. You can place your hands on your shins or ankles, or you can reach further and grab your feet. And we're going to inhale and exhale, lower, and hold here. You may also feel a stretching sensation in your low back as well. Hold here for 4 more breaths. All right, we'll begin to raise up. And then we will make our way over to wide-legged forward fold. And however far your legs go, that's perfectly fine. I'm facing this way so you guys can see me. What we'll do now is circle sweep our arms and slowly begin to walk forward and lower. You can also utilize any blocks or props under your head to help prop you up and bring the earth closer to you. And now we're stretching our inner thighs. Have 4 more breaths. Begin to raise, and we'll bring in our left leg now for a head to knee pose into our inner thigh, and we will begin to stretch on the right side. Meeting our hand to our right foot, you can have the option to lay forward like this. You also have the option to grab above if you'd like to get more of a side back stretch here. Have 4 more breaths. Okay, and next we will alternate. So we'll extend the left leg, and then we'll bring the right leg into our inner thigh, and we'll begin to surrender and fall over. Also, if you did this variation with reaching over to get that side back stretch, you can also do it on this side. Have 4 more breaths. and to raise up. And next up, we will begin to transition into our butterfly pose, where we will meet our feet to touch. And if you like your legs closer to you or further, that's perfectly fine, whichever preference works the best for you. Just going to apply a little bit more of that inner thigh stretch here, and we will begin to lower. This is also stretching the outside of your thighs as well. I have 4 more breaths. Okay, release. And next we will transition into a low lunge and half split, which I'll show you here. We'll begin with our right foot up front, a 90-degree bend here, and for our low lunge. And I'm just going to press forward. Your hips should be parallel as well as your shoulders. All right. And then we will press backwards into half split. If you'd like, you can also take more of a little bit of a more dynamic movement where you move forward for low lunge and then press backwards into half split. If you'd like to spend more time on the low lunge or half split, you are more than welcome to do so. Have 3 more breaths. All right, we will then alternate over to the left side. So same thing, just taking our left leg, pressing it forward, 90-degree bend, still keeping our hips and shoulders parallel. We'll begin to press forward, open up our hips, and release back into a half split. If you have some curvature in your spine, it's okay. See if you can just release and hold a little bit further. See if you can lift and fold. You're also more than welcome to take those dynamic movements from lunge to half split. 3 more breaths. All right, we'll then meet on our stomachs for cobra. We'll do 3 rounds of cobra, and so the first round will be baby cobra, and our palms are right near our chest, just below our shoulders. Our feet are zip tied together, as well as our thighs. If your feet don't close together, that's perfectly fine, as long as your thighs or your calves are close together. And then we will begin to lift to give a slight stretch to our lower back, then lower. All right, then we will begin to lift up again. You're welcome to raise your palms off the mat and keep your feet low as well. Then lower. Also inviting you to do a fierce cobra for this next round. You're more than welcome to do baby cobra again, but we'll extend our arms at the top of our mat, keeping our feet and still zip tied together, and we will begin to raise for fierce cobra. And slowly lower. Move on to our final back stretch for bow pose. So what we'll do is grab the outside of your feet, and your thumbs should be placed in the balls of your feet. You're perfectly fine to actually stay right here if this suits you, but you just want to make sure your thighs are close together and you're keeping a up dog in your chest and your shoulders are lowered beneath your ears. If you'd like to take it a step further, we can move into bow pose and begin to raise here. Shoulder blades are drawn back, keeping that up dog in your chest, and then slowly, do not slingshot, release. We will then transition to our backs. For a supine twist, since we did quite a bit of back stretching here and for our flexibility. And we will begin to lower into a supine twist to the left side, still keeping our right shoulder on the mat. We will look over to the right. Have 4 more breaths here. Release. Begin to fall over to the right side, still keeping your left shoulder on the mat. Begin to gaze. Have 4 more breaths. Okay. Well then, release and just hold yourself in a ball and rock back and forth, forward and back. And slowly but surely begin to melt onto the mat. And let your arms begin to fall, and your feet, let them dangle. Ensure your shoulders are firmly planted. There's little to no arch in your back. Begin to relax your brows. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Take awareness of your breath. Shavasana. Begin to make small movements with your toes, your fingers. Roll your ankles. Begin to bring movement to your legs and bring your arms behind you. Point your toes for a nice stretch. We'll then fall onto our favorite side. Just thank ourselves for giving ourselves time and space for the day. Begin to rise up and seated. And then circle sweep our arms. Bring them to heart center. The highest good in me honors, sees, and believes in the highest good in you. Thank you so much for flowing today. I hope you've been able to get a little bit more flexible with these poses today, or being able to kind of open up your body just a little bit more. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video for the challenge that we are on. Thank you so much again for flowing with me. Namaste.